Alright guys, this is Blary Phylon and these are 21 questions about me. First question. What inspired you to start creating content and how did you get into filmmaking? Well, I remember being 12 years old after school as a usual day back home, and I think I was looking for something at home and all of a sudden I found out my father's camera. The one he used to bring with us to all the trips. You know, I got curious about it, then I started doing automatic pictures all around the home. After that, I remember being 15 and 16, doing some photo shoots to my friends, and yeah, that's how Blary Phylon started. If you had to choose one, photography or filmmaking, which one would it be and why? I see this answer very clearly, but absolutely filmmaking. A couple of years ago, I would say to you guys photography because I was starting, but nowadays it's definitely filmmaking because I like to transmit feelings and I can do that with my videos, the music, and the mix I create. What's the biggest lesson you've learned from being a content creator? I think this quote actually defines what I think about it, so happiness lives in the smallest moments, guys, and that's kind of my philosophy and the biggest lesson I've learned from this job. What's the most memorable place you've traveled to and why? Alright, for those who already know me, I'm gonna start by saying London. But why London? As far as I know, it's one of the best cities in the world. I feel like I can be totally myself over there. The cultures, the people, the vibe of the city, it's so unique and unusual to be there. And actually I was living in London for a couple of months last year. I was actually studying in London Institute of Photography, trying to improve some of my skills. And yeah, I found out it's my favorite city in the world because of the vibe, the people, the experience I lived there, and yeah, that's it basically. Any wild or funny travel story you can share? Yeah, I think this is a funny one, and I don't know if this guy is gonna watch this video at all, but I remember I was recently 18 and I was doing my first solo trip to London actually. I was spending 3 days in the city, yeah. And I remember the second day visiting Tower Bridge and I was with my tripod, my old Canon camera, and all of a sudden I found a guy with an amazing equipment doing some frames of the city and whatever. By the time I was single, I must say it, but I remember asking this guy if he could do some pictures of me in the Tower Bridge. Yeah, I mean, he asked me if I was standing around the city for a couple of days. And the day after, I remember meeting with him at some random cafeteria in the city, and yeah, we spent the day together, but just as friends. It didn't happen anything, guys, but yeah, I learned a lot from that guy. He was actually from France and he was so good with me. I asked him a lot of questions, he answered a lot of them, and yeah, I mean, the vibe of that guy, I will remember it for ever. So yeah, I mean, that's a random kind of the history I got. Yeah. What's one place on your travel bucket list that you haven't been to yet? I mean, it's kind of obvious for a content creator to say this, but obviously it's Japan. I mean, I've seen a lot of pictures, I've seen a lot of filmmakers, videos about Japan, the colors, the people, the city vibe, everything else. And it's kind of, you know, always in my mind, like, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go. And yeah, I definitely would go on winter season. Yeah, because I like to ski. But otherwise, I could go and travel during spring season. Obviously because of the colors. And there's more activities to do during spring. Yeah, or that's what I've heard. How do you keep your creative energy up while traveling? Okay, I must confess something over here, but I'm the most organized woman in the world. You gotta see me the week before traveling and looking at me like, what the hell is she doing? Because I organize everything, guys. When I say everything, it's the last minimum detail, like at what time I gotta be in one place, what plans or frames I could do. I do some research of others, filmmakers and content creators that have already been there. You know, you can imagine me like writing down in a notebook Like day 1, I gotta do this, 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 and this. Day 2, I must do this idea because I remember da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. So yeah, that's how I get my inspiration once I'm traveling, because guys, it's really important to be organized in this life, because then you got your ideas in your head always and a clear vision of what you must do. What's your favorite piece of gear you never leave home without? I think I got it over here. Wait a second. Definitely it's my phone holder. It just, you know, a small piece of thing. Yeah. Easy to keep, easy to use, easy to film. You can pretty easily film the behind the scenes with just this pretty piece over here. So yeah, that's it. Who's a filmmaker, photographer, or content creator that inspires you? Okay, so I did my homework. I have over here in my phone 3 names. One of them is a filmmaker, another one is a woman I love, and the other one is just a photographer, but all of them, guys, trust me, are amazing. So the first one, I'm gonna start by saying, yeah, Andrea Fon. She's from Barcelona. She's called the all-term woman, and that's because she's capable of doing any type of creation. And she does workshops about, you know, helping people to improve their skills. I don't know, I think the last one I saw on her gun was in Bali. It was people traveling all around the world just to see her and just to get to know her style, her techniques, and all of it. It's pretty amazing, guys. I'm gonna let here her Instagram so you can check it. She's awesome. Then we have Sam Calder. Many of you may already know him. He's an amazing filmmaker. I remember being 14 and 15, just looking at some YouTube videos. I remember my first thought of the first video I saw him, and it was basically like, I wanna be him when I grow up, you know? And last but not least, Brandon Waffle. So this guy used to be famous because of his Let's pictures. I remember watching his videos around New York, doing some street photography with his friends or models or whatever, and it was kind of the aesthetic thing back in 2015, I think, kind of the Tumblr aesthetic thing. But he was pretty awesome, and he was one of the reasons I started creating content, because I was like, oh my god, I want to learn how to do this type of thing. What's the most challenging project you've ever worked on? I must confess to you this, guys, but I don't like doing inside projects. I like to be outside, in contact with the nature, the air, the people, and everything else. But I remember back in last year, November actually, it's been a year, but it was my first time doing a photo shoot in a studio with studio lights and everything else, and it was kind of tough for me because it was my first time. And I remember being over there and thinking like, what the hell am I doing here? I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So yeah, I mean, it was the first time. It was pretty tough, but the project I did was awesome. I really remember the results were amazing. I'm gonna let you hear, guys, some pictures I did by the time, but yeah, it was a tough lesson to me to learn. If you could film one dream project with an unlimited budget, what would it be? Okay, so since it's November, no shit, when I drop this video it's gonna be December. So since it's December, I'm gonna confess you guys, this project I've always dreamed of. Basically, it's an advertising project I have in my mind about a Porsche with a Christmas tree outside, and I see myself filming in Le Mans circuit. I love F1 cars, their history, so you must imagine why. And all of a sudden, when the car stops, Carlos Sainz is stepping out of the car, and I don't know, maybe saying whatever quote or whatever, I don't know, but it's kind of my best project I could ever imagine, as far as I know. So, what else do we have here? How would you describe your content style in 3 words? Just in 3 words? I would say unique, emotional, adventurous. Yeah. What's the most unusual thing you've done to get a perfect shot? Wow, this is a funny story. I remember this March, La Cerdaña, doing an event with a friend of mine. I'm gonna tag them here, guys. You gotta check them. content because obviously the best content creator in town did the pictures and the videos they have on their account, but basically I was there, alright? It was, I think, 7 or 8 p.m. and my best friend came with me. And I was, you know, with my camera, the flash, everything, all the equipment you can imagine. Actually, I just asked my best friend, like, wouldn't it be cool if you could hold me in your shoulders? And I just tried to do the picture from all the outside side I could imagine. And I'm gonna let here some pictures of the project, but yeah, they were amazing. And my best friend at the end of the party was like, you're gonna pay me a treatment for my back. And yeah, that's the most unusual thing I would do, but I do believe that any content creator would do anything for the perfect shot. How do you handle creative blocks or burnouts? When I have a burnout or I don't have any idea to do, I check my old projects, because then I remember what I would love to do back in the time and maybe try to do that idea but nowadays in another project. And otherwise, I think that it's a good idea to review your save folder on socials. Like when I have some free time and I'm looking at other content creators' accounts, I try to save some ideas that I could use in the future, or maybe some tips or skills or whatever. So it's basically a mix of my old projects, something I couldn't do, something I can do nowadays, and a mix of ideas. And that's kind of what I do when I have a burnout. Any editing tip or creative hack that you swear by? Most filmmakers would tell you to use Adobe Premiere Pro, but I would tell you guys to use actually DaVinci Resolve, since the color grading thing, it's more useful, more basic, and you know, it doesn't break your mind to put the colors you want to do instead of using Adobe Premiere Pro. So that's the only tip I have for you guys. I mean, I don't have anything else that you could check on YouTube. So what's the one random skill or fun fact most people doesn't know about you? Okay, so this is a confession time. I see it, I have a vision, but I'm the most busiest person in the world. I'm always focused on my goals, my hobbies, my job, and always trying to do the best for me and not for the others. So you must think, wow, that's so selfish, but no guys, you gotta focus on your things and you gotta be like that in life if you wanna, you know, accomplish your goals and your own vision. Do you have any hobbies or passions outside of filmmaking and photography? Obviously, I'm not 24/7 doing this shit. So I go to the gym 4 times a week. I try to have a connection about my body, my mind, my thoughts, and yeah, thanks to the gym, I can be the person who I am nowadays, so thank goodness. What's the one thing that always makes you feel inspired? Thinking about how far I've come? Yeah, that's kind of a good motivation to feel inspired, like if I've accomplished to be this far in life, there's nothing else I couldn't do. So that's kind of the basic motivation. Then you go to inspiration. I check my notebook, my ideas, something I couldn't do back in the time, what I told you before basically. And from inspiration, you go to do whatever you gotta do. Where do you see your content creation journey in the next 5 years? I don't know when I'm gonna do it 2 weeks, but I can have a vision of myself still being my own boss, still traveling once a month, 100%, having fun with my friends, taking care of my family, maybe having more clients than I have nowadays, obviously I hope for, but yeah, that's how I see my life in 5 years. I don't need anything else. What's a big goal you're working towards right now? This is a tough one. Okay, so what I'm trying to do for next year, and this is kind of a spoiler, spoiler alert, Next year, I'm trying to travel once a month. Since in February, I'm going to London. In March, I'm going to Amsterdam. In April, I was thinking about going to Portugal. In May, I was thinking about going to somewhere else, guys. I don't know it yet, but it's definitely a goal I want to accomplish in the future, and I'm gonna do it, definitely. And last but not least, What's one piece of advice you'd give to other young creators just starting out? Okay guys, I'm not gonna lie to you at all, but I think I saw this quote on Pinterest and since then it's been on my mind 24/7. So please, don't let other people's opinion get in your way or your goals. If you like to do something, just do it. If you're passionate about anything else, be passionate about it. I mean, don't be afraid to take care of your own decisions and to go through the process. So that's just my advice. So those were the 21 questions about me. Hope you got to know me better. Hope you liked this video that I know you did. Please subscribe, give it a like, share my content and follow me on social media. See you on the next video.